Hi friends, I'm Erin Mack and welcome to my channel. It has been a little while since I've posted a video because I got anxious and stopped posting. Hooray. I'm an avid reader and I mainly read fantasy books. Recently, I've gotten into romance books and I've found a genre that actually combines the two, which I love. So today we're going to talk about my top fantasy romance books that I read in 2020 that are not A Court of Thorns and Roses. I love that book, but I feel like everyone recommends it and reads it, and so here's others. I love fantasy because it's a totally different world. There's magic, there's magic. Add romance and steam, and then you've got my type of book. My favorite genre is fantasy, and adding that romance in there just makes it more of an escape. I mean, with everything that's going on, it's like I only want to read fantasy and romance books because it completely takes me out of reality. I don't know if that's a good thing, but let's recommend some books. I'm starting off the list with a book that's just a little steamy with Song of Blood and Stone by Elle Penelope. It's about a mixed black presenting woman. She has magical powers. She is navigating a racist, powerless country who is at war with a different magical country that is a different race than them. She ends up falling in love, and that complicates things even more. This book is mostly fantasy with a romantic interest. I've actually already recommended this book on one of my other videos, but I don't see it around, and it's really good, so I want to recommend it as much as possible. This book, oh my god, it's so good. It touches on very meaningful themes like racism, how power just straight up corrupts, and immigration. It also has some really cool world building because it's kind of set in a 1920s era, but with modern technology, and then it's just like completely different fantastical world. The romantic interest storyline is so good, and there is one steamy scene, but it's pretty PG-13. My next recommendation is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So the main character has been chosen as like the maiden of these people, which means like she can't fall in love, she can't do anything basically. And of course there comes a guard into her life that tempts all of those things. Throughout the book you find out a lot of different things. I don't want to give too much away because there's like a lot of fun spoilers I could talk about if I really wanted to explain the plot, so I'm not going to do that. But let's just say if you like enemies to lovers, this one's great. I am so excited about the third one coming out. The second one has a huge cliffhanger. Yeah, just be ready for cliffhangers, book hangovers, all of the things. This is actually Goodreads 2020 best romance novel, and while I would agree that the romance is a huge part of the plot, I would put this as a fantasy first and not a romance. Do I think it's a great fantasy? Yes. But I think there are a lot of romance books that deserve to be in that category. What do you think? Leave a comment below if you've read this book and do you think it's a fantasy or do you think it's a romance? What constitutes a romance? Is it just steamy scenes, or that has to be the point of the book? What do y'all think? Okay, now let's move on into romance books that are set in a fantasy world. So this is like, romance is the main focus of these books. I have two Grace Draven books on this list because she's really good at fantasy romance, hands down. My first one from her is called Entreat Me, and it's basically a Beauty and the Beast retelling, except you don't feel like he's keeping her against her will on this one, which I feel like it's a plus. The beast is cursed with magic, and it's really cool to see why he was cursed, how the curse plays out, and like how it affects him and the people who were associated with his castle. You have the enemies to lovers thing, but it's totally justified. Like, she's trying to protect her sister, and the other guy is like, yeah, I get it, I'm a beast. Also super steamy. The main character is strong and awesome and badass, and the villain, oh my gosh, just wanted to punch him in the face. My next recommendation from Grace Draven is Radiance, and this is probably my favorite romance book I've ever read. It was so cute. Okay, so this book is about a human and a Kai, which is basically like a scary elf type of person. They're in an arranged marriage to solidify a political connection. These two peoples, like the humans and the Kai, both think each other are really ugly and they're scared of one another. Like, they just don't get each other at all. So it's this weird big deal that these two people are getting married. The banter in this book is spot on. It's friends to lovers, and it's just so good. The banter is so good, and like not a lot happens. It's just about them falling in love, but it's just so cute. It's so cute. And then there's like a steamy scene or two at the end. Definitely one of my favorite books that I read in 2020. It just made me so happy. So my last recommendation is called Lord of the Fading Lands by C.L. Wilson. And if you really liked A Court of Thorns and Roses, but you were like, I want more smut, then this is the book for you. So in this book, the Fae King Rain, who was once so heartbroken he laid waste to the world, has to save his dying lands. Elisetta is the key, and basically they need to fall in love to save everyone. And so the first book is basically him courting her and them trying to make a connection. Like I said, if you liked A Court of Thorns and Roses, you're gonna love this book. A lot of the lore is similar. The romance is the main focus, but there's so many good fantasy aspects in this book, and there is a plot. There's different storylines going on within this one through line of them trying to fall in love, and it just adds so much depth to this romance book. It's so good. Also, the steam is super hot. It's not that crazy, but yeah. It's very spacey. And those are my recommendations. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Leave in the comments your favorite fantasy romance books. I am always looking to add more stuff to my TBR list, and I would love to know what y'all think. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!